ready. This is going to be exciting.
And they got car restarts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
January 14th, 2026. We saw a fresh start, the beginnings of a new chapter of Goat Locker history, and 14 weeks of racing later, we see to its end. The Save 22 spring season draws ever closer to its conclusion, and tonight of all nights, the Cruisin Classics Premier Next Gen Series crowns its newest champion from our 4 competitors. A voice that's been in the commentary box for many a history-making moment has a chance to make history of his own on debut. A force that heats up when the playoff pressure pushes the hardest. He was here a season ago and doesn't intend to let it slip a second time. A cornerstone who's won almost everything there is to win in Goat Locker racing, with the exception of the championship belt on offer here tonight, and the Big Daddy himself, on a hot streak looking to break his own records, will try to defend his title for an unprecedented 3rd consecutive belt. It all ends right here, right now, on V-Speed. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Lenke. Here alongside me is Ken Huber. We got Eddie Smith in the production booth and the talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's cameras.
Well, I am certainly glad to be here for the last race of the season. What a night we're going to have here at Miami. What a great place to end the season. This track is a lot of fun, and we got 4 great competitors that are all going to duke it out to get this championship. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that would like to spoil and get a win on the night. But you can see right there, you can see our 4 drivers, Gardner, Silvers, Drabick, and Threlkeld, all competing for that title, that belt, as you said there, Jacob. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys get around this place tonight.
Yes, indeed. Going to take a look at all 4 of them throughout tonight. But all is right with the world as tonight's venue for our championship round takes place where NASCAR ended its season for most of this century. A 1.5-mile traditional oval in every sense of the word, with 18 to 20 degrees of progressive banking in the corners. The Homestead Miami Speedway is no better way to bookend a season than crowning a champion where so many have been crowned before.
Yeah, and what a great place Miami is, too. You got a couple different racing lines out there. I was able here to race it in the Gen 4 cars last week, I believe it was. And there is a couple different lines, the high line, the bottom line. I think you'll find that drivers are going to get max speed up on the high line. But for tire wear, they might want to run it down a little bit lower. So it's going to be really challenging and it's going to be really hard to defend their position, I should say, depending on which line you're running on this track here tonight.
We are going to see everybody everywhere tonight in particular to try and get the best advantage possible when putting themselves in qualifying, which is going on right now, and on track.
Yeah, these guys, they got the nighttime, the lights are out, nice cool track, so we're going to see speeds. The setup that they're running out there, nice fixed setup. It's fairly neutral, it's a little snug, but I think these guys will make the most of it. It's one of the better setups, I think, that has been provided all season long, with the exception of some of the custom setups that we had, like at Atlanta and I think it was Michigan, if I remember.
Well, all good things must come to an end, and we have to start with thanking our sponsor for the Pole Award. Since forming in 2013, Jam Printing and Promotions has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And your Pole Award winner for Homestead is none other than our defending champion, Jeremy Gardner, with Cody Anderson to his outside in the P2 spot. P3 is going to be taken up by Levi McCarty, a man that missed out on the championship 4 after last week, and Travis Gilbert rounds out the top 4. Patrick Dravick, another competitor for the championship, in 5th. Corinne Smith puts it P6. Tyler Evans in the 7th position. Jacob Ellingson in that 27 puts it in P8. Timothy Wilms, another former challenger in the championship, and P9, with Samuel Yosef rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, we're going to catch the back half of the field here with James Silvers, one of our championship contenders, going to start P11. Going to have a strong contender out there, Wesley Burke, who just missed a championship run here. He's going to start on his outside. Logan Threlkeld, another one of those championship drivers, starting back in the unlucky number 13th position in the 30 car. He's going to have Jason Taylor on his outside in P14. Charles Abert will start the number 7 car on the inside in P15, with James Kaufman in the 25 machine on his outside. Matt Knights will start P17 on the inside, with the 75 of Chuck Phelps starting on the outside in P18. And that wraps up an 18-car field here tonight.
18 cars with 4 of them fighting for the championship. Got some cameras showing you these drivers for tonight. Cody Anderson with his camera and his lovely beard. Chuck Pegleg Phelps with his beard great as always, showing off the guns. Charles Abert in the number 7 showing his camera as well tonight. And as always, Patrick Drabick wearing his Valvoline hat with his support for William Byron.
It'll be fun watching these drivers here tonight and seeing if they have any trials and tribulation there. I'm sure that looking at Patrick Drabick there, it looks like we got another camera just fired up there. Samuel Yosef there. You can see him down on the lower right-hand side. But, Drabick would probably like to take a championship away from Gardner, but so would Threlkeld and Silvers. But Threlkeld and Silvers are starting a little ways back in the field, so they got some work to cut out for him. And another driver that's interesting out there, we talked about it pre-race, but the number 51 of Levi McCarty, he missed the playoffs getting in his final 4 as well, but he's starting 3rd right behind Jeremy Gardner.
Yep. And everybody is anticipating the start of this one, not just for the end of the race, just for the end of the championship. They want to cap this season off with a good finish leading into summer.
Absolutely. They want to get this done. They want to claim that crown. And we got 18 guys that are about to duke it out for this for the race win at least. And there you have your race analysis there. We're going to do 100 laps. And pit road speed, 50 miles an hour, 4 sets of tires available to them, 2 green-white checker attempts, and 100% fuel with the Premier setup. So, that's why that setup drove so well. That explains it. So they got a custom setup, but everybody's on the same one.
It's a Premier Series, so no fast repairs. Everybody anticipating the start of this one. Pace cars rolling through 3. Got them doubled up. Gardner looking to lead them to the front once again. Oh my goodness, we got a wreck on the pacing. This hasn't happened before. That's Tyler Evans in the 77. It looked like they might have made contact with Wesley Burke. And that might hang up our start here.
Yeah, we've been, the pace car's been told to go another lap here while they get the track sorted out. But we're looking at the 77 there, Tyler Evans. Everybody's getting ready, anticipating that green flag here. We're going to see. Oh, whoa! We just just did an acceleration test, and he found out it doesn't work today. So all that power, horsepower, just stood on the throttle and spun the rear end out and went up the hill there.
He goosed it. And he downshifted when he was going too fast, and then he just sent it up into the rest of the field. That made contact with Wesley Burke. I was going to make a point. From the past 2 seasons, this has been a Premier Series. We have had no cautions, and since we were underpacing, that streak is still alive.
Yeah, I was going to say, that no laps have been counted yet, so these guys can keep that streak. What a way to start this race, though. So, and I'm sure that Tyler Evans probably is pretty embarrassed about that right now, and I think we've all done that, accidentally downshift that car, especially if you're running with paddle shifters. It's very easy to do, but we're going to try to redo this start once again here as the cars are getting lined up and the pace car ducks off.
Yep, I'm already fired up, Ken. Pace car out of turn 4. The field close behind. Cuts him loose to the extreme scoring restart zone. And for the final time, we are rolling. Green flag in Miami-Dade County.
McCarty down now on the inside. Got a great start. Pushed Jeremy Gardner out front. Now McCarty's challenging for the lead already. Not even a halfway into the lap. Patrick Drabick looking for the faster lane to get by. You can see the momentum Gardner has on the outside. Now McCarty's going to dive it down deep on the inside in 3 and 4. Patrick Drabick going to the outside of Gardner. Gardner's trying to sneak up, maybe do the under and over here. We'll have to wait and see. And it looks like McCarty's going to leave that first lap.
This is that momentum from these different lines that you're going to see all night long. Levi McCarty opting for that low line, and contrary to what he normally does, Patrick Drabick jumping to the top, trying to wrap that Larson line, as we've seen before. Levi McCarty had a mid-exit there. Gardner took it to the bottom. He knows that he has time to make the moves that he needs to, but he wants to stay up in this fight as we see him dive to the inside of Drabick once again as Corinne Smith is wrapping the top, just keeping it up there, trying to get as many positions as they can, already up into the top 5 past Ellingson.
Yeah, I was watching Corinne Smith during practice, and she was doing a fantastic job. She had the fastest lap pretty much all practice. As soon as somebody reclaimed the fastest lap, she'd just go back and reclaim it. So I don't know, Corin found some speed in that Captain Crunch machine. We'll have to watch how she does tonight. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead, it looks like. Drabick was working on the back of Levi McCarty. Kind of went back to the outside there, backed off a little bit. It probably run him down here on that outside lane. And Gardner's backed it up just a little bit off the back of Patrick Drabick there. So 2 championship contenders running second and third.
If you can keep it up there, you can conserve your momentum and just cash it all in on the straightaway. The only downside, you're heating up the tires by doing that. Levi McCarty is opting for the safer route. He's going to go to the bottom. Patrick Drabick looking to the inside, and McCarty's going to go opposite. He's staying up top to try and save that position from Drabick. All the while, Gardner is sitting in the catbird seat watching what these two are doing, so he can do the opposite and just keep in it.
Yeah, like I said at the top of the broadcast, it seems like if you want to run the bottom, you can probably save your tires a little bit better. If you're running that outside, you can go a little bit faster, but I think your tires will start wearing out quickly as we're watching Drabick continue to work on the inside there of Levi McCarty. Can't quite get it done. Electing to run that bottom line. Now they're going to trade up a little bit. It looks like Drabick's going to follow in the 51's lead there and follow on the bottom as well.
Everybody looks to have settled out throughout the pack right now. Levi McCarty taking the lead of the race early here, and Ellingson looking for a move back on Corinne Smith. Let's see if Smith holds it back to the top here. They are, and Ellingson is going to have a lot to do to try and keep it in front, but that might have just saved him the position as Corinne grabs the wall going through 1 and 2.
Yeah, you're running that outside line, and that's one of the things you got to be careful about is not to get up in that outside wall. Thankfully, these cars get up in that wall, and you don't have to jerk it off the wall and end up causing a big incident. It'll get up there, it'll get sucked up into the wall, but if you just maintain it, you can drag it off the wall. Now, Corin Smith is about to go another position down, it looks like, to Timothy Wilms.
Yep, Wilms opting to go to that inside, and just behind them, James Silver's in the 4 car, already up 3 spots, trying to look for the position on them. He is in the wake of the 10 right now, running that top, and he's probably going to dip it down to the, nope, he's going to keep it right in the middle there as we see Thrill Kill creeping into frame, another championship contender opting for the bottom line.
Yeah, these are the two that started mid-pack that trying to work their way up for this championship battle. You see the 4 now working on the inside of Timothy Wilms there. He's going to grab that position down at the bottom. Threlkeld is going to try to follow him through. Threlkeld right behind that 4 machine. And as they come up on Corin Smith, comes down low. The 4 had to back out of it. And now the 30 is going on the outside, try to get a pass for position on Silvers.
Wilms dives to the inside of the 10, swaps it on entry of turn 3, keeps it down to the bottom as Corinne holds it just under that seam, is going to have a little more momentum onto the front stretch, but they need to keep in it, and I think they might have used their tires up already as Silvers dives in behind the 10 right now with the 30 and 10 close behind.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the 4 and 30 just behind that battle there. They're looking for a clean way through as the 30 is working all over the rear quarter panel of that 4. And you can see the 4 is side by side now with Corin Smith in that number 10 car. And Threlkeld trying to push that number 4 forward as both those drivers are trying to make their way to the front, because if we stay green, they're going to have to race their way up there if they want to have any hope at this championship.
Race their way up or get them on pit strategy. They are currently sitting a little over 2 seconds behind right now as the leaders have not checked out as much already. Logan Threlkeld opting for that middle line, watching Wilms all the way up to the top near the wall. James Silver is in pursuit with them, and Threlkeld is going to try and get through the 10 car here on the outside once we get into turn 3.
Yeah, he was saying, make a hole there, number 10. I'm coming through. Is going to try to pin that 10 car down to the bottom. Threlkeld now running back to the outside. Should have the 10 car clear here, and there he does. So he's got another position made and just trying to follow that 4 car up to the front there. Meanwhile, Cofield just behind, or Kaufman, is passing Corin Smith, trying to get that pass made on the outside. Corin now is starting to fall back, and I think is talking about running that outside lane where that 10 car was all night. I think that has worn out those tires on that 10 car early.
Yep, they need to try and cool those down somehow, but they're going to have to lose a bunch of spots doing it as they're dropping like a rock. Jason Taylor now trying to look to the outside, tucks in behind the 10, might look for it on the bottom here. Yep, going into turn 1 as we see the 77 of Tyler Evans back in frame after the mishap under pacing.
Yeah, up high, you can see Corin Smith up high, and you can see the 60 car down below trying to get that position. You can just see the 10 just slowly going backwards as Jason Taylor is, I was going to say it was going to have that pass completed, but that momentum on the outside allowed that 10 car to stay there. Jason Taylor now still working on the inside as they're coming through 3 and 4, trying to get some kind of advantage because there is a run on that high side, and that 10 is still going to continue to hold on for the moment.
Yep, but that positioning is there for the 60 if he wants to just wrap that bottom line. He touches the line a little bit, and that unsettles the car, so that leaves him dead even through the corner, and Corinne is able to keep that car out in front and keep themselves in the top 10 for the time being.
Doing a great job out there. So, the fuel window for these drivers is about 60 to 65 laps. I expect the pit stops probably, if we stay green, at the halfway mark. 48 to 52, as I like to say, is what we'll see some of these drivers coming in to do. And then Levi McCarty still out here leading this thing, in control of this thing. Dravik just about 5-6 car lengths behind. And ditto for Jeremy Gardner, who's about 5-6 car lengths behind Patrick Dravik right now. So two of our championship contenders right next to each other, and then the other 2 are right next to each other, back battling for 7th and 8th.
Now I want to talk strategy. With the deficit from that wrap over, with what you said about 60 so laps on the fuel, do we see someone take it as soon as that window opens to get them to the end to try and gamble their way to the front here?
Well, I don't know. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, we seen McCarty try that. He stayed out like 65 laps, and it did not pay off for him at all. He was hoping for a caution. I don't know. It's that's what the big matzo ball is you tend to want to pit at lap 50 and pray there's no cautions. But if there's a caution, it just throws all that strategy out the window.
As I mentioned, during the pacing laps, the last 2 championship races we have had in the Premier Series for the next gens have had 0 cautions. That's 200 laps caution free, and we're working number 217 right now as we're on board with Jeremy Gardner, watching Patrick Drabick try to chase down the 51 of McCarty.
Yeah, that gap has been about relatively the same for, I don't know, the last 10 laps or so. Looks like Drabick is pulled up just a little bit on the back of McCarty there, but not quite up there right now. So we'll see. I think that both these guys right now, or all three of these guys, are just minding their tires. They know they've got to go the distance. They know that it's probably going to be a green flag run. So it's all about who can manage their tires the best here at Miami. And as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, that setup is a little snug, but it floats around the corners really nice. So it's not, I wouldn't call it a super tight setup, but it just has a nice flow to it. So very comfortable car to drive, but got to be careful with how you manage your tires.
And it looks like it has had that fit with the progressive banking, as taking a look a little bit further back, watching these lap times tick down. Logan Threlkeld, another one of those cars, still in that 33.4 marker. He ended up dropping back a couple of positions as we see this battle further back. I didn't expect to see this coming through. We see the 60 and 10 side by side going into 3. Logan Threlkeld has dropped to the front of these guys with the 77, but Tyler Evans looking on, trying to get past all 3 of them if an opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, speaking of strategy, Silvers has actually moved himself up to the 7th position, but Threlkeld has lost a position or two, currently running in the 10th position. So Threlkeld might be one of those drivers too that might have abused those tires early in this run, and when it comes to the pit strategy, he might be one of those drivers that needs to pit at the halfway point to have any hope, because he's just going to continue to give up time on the track. So it's probably not where Threlkeld wants to be at the moment, and perhaps he's saving too. That's something we don't know. I'm not sitting there driving the car, so he could be trying to save. You can see as you look down the front stretch there, you can see the whole field. The leader is not that far ahead of Threlkeld. So Threlkeld's doing what he can. You can look up there. You can see just around the corner there, you can see Jeremy Gardner, and there's Levi McCarty. So that's how far the leader is up there. He hasn't lost the lead, so to speak, the lead group. So maybe he is saving too.
And we've seen Logan Threlkeld try some strategy calls before, as we see Gardner up ahead on the back bumper of Patrick Drabick. McCarty stepped out to an 8/10 lead, but Gardner just behind the 07 right now, and the position of these two will decide the championship. If it stays the way it is right now, Patrick Drabick is in the hot seat for that belt, and he is currently still running in that P2 position.
Yeah, he's dreaming of that belt as he's driving that car around the track. Probably got a visualization on the dashboard of what that belt looks like. But he's also looking at the rear view mirror, and there's a thief right behind him in the Save 22 machine that definitely wants that belt. And that's what probably Drabick is thinking about right now, is how can I hang on to this belt? How can I fend off Jeremy Gardner, who's just been so strong all season throughout the last 3 seasons? Like you said, if he wins tonight, this will be a 3-peat, right? Or a 4-peat for Jeremy Gardner. So
it'll be a 3-peat. He will have won all 3 of the Premier Series, or the Premier seasons that we've had in the next gen. And I just got to remark, these two, neck and neck, back to back, every time you look at a Goat Locker broadcast, there is a chance that you see Patrick Drabick and Jeremy Gardner somewhere relatively close to each other, fighting for some type of win, some type of championship, or just fighting for some position on track. These two have been almost inseparable, and there is a loving and hating rivalry between these two that keeps everybody entertained no matter what when they're on screen.
Well, the question is that Jeremy Gardner would ask Drabick is, are you going to take 2 tires? Are you going to take 4 on this stop? So we'll have to wait and see. But Drabick has been burned by the drivers behind him taking 2 tires and Drabick taking 4. And I'm sure that's on the top of his mind right now as well, as he's trying to fend off Jeremy Gardner here.
Yep, the battle seems to have settled for the moment. Drabick, as we're taking a look at his onboard, got those red, white, and blue gloves on, and just watching. He's got his eyes out the front windshield because he knows exactly what's behind him. He's been in this position before several times, and he is not going to let up just for Jeremy Gardner. Gardner's going to have to come and take this one from him.
For a minute, I thought those were star-spangled oven gloves there, some hot oven mitts there for a second. But I guess that's if he loses this thing tonight, he can punch himself in the face and see stars. So, it's a great job there for Dravic trying to hold on to this thing. It looks nice and calm and collected at the moment. I just happened to watch James Silvers went back another position. Travis Gilbert, we've talked about Travis Gilbert this season. Travis Gilbert moving his way up the field in that 44 car. You can see him working on the inside there of Cody Anderson, makes up another position. So that 44 is coming hard up to the front here. Started further back in the field. Gilbert started in the 7th position. He started in the 4th, and I think he was saving his tires because he moved back outside of the top 10. Now he's racing his way back up into the top 10 and further.
I'll tell you what happened, Ken. He did the same thing he has done in every race that he's participated in, and he started from the pits. He qualified fourth to get the pit stall position, and then he started from the pits so he could just work his way up through the field.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a fuel conservation strategy. He's said before that he enjoys the challenge of driving up through the field, but if you're putting yourself up in position to be at the front, wouldn't you want to stay at the front instead of having to work through all of these cars and potentially put yourself in a position you don't want to be in? He's got himself back up to 6th, and he is technically the biggest mover in the field right now, even though our charts are saying James Kaufman in P9 is the biggest mover. But come on, man. You're good. Put yourself up in this lead battle so we can get a good shot of how good you are before the end of the race.
Well, I think he's proven that just by starting in the pits. I didn't even realize he started in the pits. So great job there for Gilbert. He's awesome to watch all season long, just march his way up through the field. And you know what, though, Jacob? This is a championship race, and he's probably thinking to himself, well, he's not in it for the championship. Why not go out there and make a statement? And if you start from the pits, at least you're not going to be involved in maybe cause one of our leaders to have an issue out there. But if he races his way to the front, is like, hey, I earned it, man. I got up here, I raced with you guys, and I stole a win this season.
We will have to wait and see. As the leader right now, Levi McCarty has held this since the start of the race, over a second to Patrick Dravic behind, as we are ticking off lap number 29 onto lap 30 of this 100-lap race, and ever closer to that marker that you said with the halfway point, that we might see a lot of these drivers start taking it to the pits, as we see a battle further back battling with Timothy Wilms and Jake Ellingson just behind your second place cars, and the 30 is taking another position down. The 77 of Evans trying to go to the inside, as we might see some internet issue with Logan Threlkeld.
Yeah, that 30 car of Logan Threlkeld has been struggling out there. Just been watching him move backwards. He was in the 11th position, going backwards now on the outside of the 77. That's Tyler Evans there. So Threlkeld trying his best to try to get back up in the top 10, but it looks like he's about to lose that position to the 77. And you can see Corin Smith, who is super strong in practice, is working on both these guys as well. So she's back there in the hunt, in the Captain Crunch mobile, waiting for an opportunity to get around. And Corin Smith is now found that bottom lane, probably found out that was a little hot on the tires running it up high like that early on in this race. As we got a battle for second.
We've got movement up in the front. Jeremy Gardner to the inside of Patrick Dravic. Dravic's going to have the momentum on exit. Let's see if he has a counter move. Jacob Ellingson is not going to challenge his teammate. In fact, he might get a little push into 3 from the 27 to try and get back up to Gardner's back bumper, because Gardner thinks it is go time.
Yeah, and here's where the strategy is. I was going to say, with those two guys nose to tail, Gardner is just opening up a gap on Patrick Dravic. I think Gardner was back there saving that entire time. And I think Gardner is going to be able to run down Levi McCarty. And this is really Gardner's advantage. If he's got the tires, he can stay out a little bit longer than everybody else when we do get to the halfway point. And that might be the smartest move that anyone can do, because Dravic right now is just falling back like a stone right now, under threat with Jacob Ellingson now on his inside, that teammate. And here comes Gilbert in that 44 is down on the inside, as well of Timothy Wilms. So Gilbert is making his presence known in this league group.
Yep, the 07 trying to figure out his strategy going forward, having dropped almost a second to Gardner already, And Gardner is eating away at McCarty's lead, already 3/10 off of what it was before when he got past Drabick. 0.7 of a second behind the 51, and everybody's starting to settle out again. And the 57 is hard charging toward the front for that 51.
Yeah, this is a big deal for that pit strategy on that 57 car of Jeremy Gardner. You can see him just really reeling in Levi McCarty here. He'll probably be to his back door here in about 3 laps, going to the bottom, but it looks like Jeremy Gardner saved all that rubber for the last 20 laps or so of this stint, and just putting some heaters down at the moment. And if he can open up a gap, that means he can stay out longer than everybody else. So if he can grab that lead and stay out longer and make some distance, he'll be able to stay out a few extra laps when that pit cycle does start to happen.
You can see Ellingson making that move to the inside, just covering off any potential lanes of attack around Drabick. That is a teammate right there, and he's got himself side by side with Wilms. 07 sticking it up top as the 27 goes down below, trying to hold out the 44 of Gilbert. Wilms trying to find a way through all 3 of these guys and put himself even further up into the top 5.
Yeah, you got to be careful with this type of move, with teammates and stuff like that, because the drivers behind you might start to get frustrated, and you could find yourself kissing the front bumper of a Toyota or something like that. So you can see Timothy Wilms got a nice run there on the outside, is going to be able to sneak on the outside of Jacob Ellingson. Going to get a little bit of the wall right there. Going to have to back it down. But trying to find a way around both these drivers. And Drabick, the only real driver that he's got to race at the moment is Jeremy Gardner. But Jeremy Gardner is stepping it out.
Everybody up here still holding firm in position. Meanwhile, the 30 of Logan Thrillkill dropped another spot. He's fallen back to P12. The 77 of Tyler Evans back there. Almost contact with the 86. There might have been a little bit of bumper contact. Wilms gets the wall out of turn 4, and Jacob Ellingson holds that position. And what we are going to see the longer this run goes is everybody going to the top is going to have a lot more to do with trying to keep in it with the top line, because there's a lot of heat in those tires. Those tires are worn, and they are going to fight to try and keep it up there. But at the same time, they're going to have to back the speed down a lot because they just don't have the grip anymore.
Yeah, and you can see, I think you're seeing a little bit of that frustration right now as Ellingson now is fallen victim there to Timothy Wilms. Now on the inside is going to try to challenge, but that outside lane has got the momentum, and Wilms is going to hope he can clear Jacob Ellingson around this corner, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Ellingson's going to challenge back on the outside, and the 44 is just blocked in, and the 44 has been super strong.
Trying to go 3 wide, just barely gets clear. Wilms almost tags the back bumper of the 27 as the 27 has got himself back behind the 07, playing rear gunner for our championship contender, Travis Gilbert, up to the 5th spot.
Yeah, Gilbert finally gets one position. Now he's got to try to navigate those 2 drivers in front of him. He's going to go to the bottom there, but it didn't work the last time. Ellingson's going to pin him down to that white line, and you got to be careful. You're defending that position. Now we got Timothy Wilms looking on the inside of Travis Gilbert.
Everything is playing into exactly what Ellingson wants now that Wilms and Gilbert are going to start fighting each other, and it takes the heat off of him. Patrick Drabick still holding on to that 3rd spot for now, and he has just fallen back completely from Jeremy Gardner. Gardner almost 2 seconds ahead of this group as Gilbert sends it to the inside of the 27. 27 holding the position in the middle lane, trying to air block the 44 and keep him to the bottom of the track and get that run off of turn 2.
Yeah, I think Gilbert's getting a little fed up, and he's going to try to force his way up front here. He does appear to have one of the stronger cars out here tonight, and you just can't make that bottom work. The outside is so strong with the momentum, especially on these old tires. We're lap 42 into this thing. And a quick news update, as these 2 drivers are battling, Gardner has not been able to run down McCarty, so that gap has remained the same. So Gardner, who was able to take off from Patrick Drabick, hasn't been able to run down McCarty. Meanwhile, we're watching these 2 drivers here. Gilbert trying to find any way he can around that 27 machine of Jacob Ellingson.
Watching out the side window and now the front of Travis Gilbert. We thought we were going to see Timothy Wilms shoot it back to the top there, but he is chasing down the 27. A very good look at that Camaro from the rear end, as he has probably seen lap after lap trying to get around this 27 as he has been almost impossible to get past, and he's got it to the top now. Maybe a move here. Yep, and he's got his car in there. He's got it past. Oh, almost contact, blocking the 27 to keep him from getting up to him, as the 44 just doesn't get a good entry into 3. That might spark a reaction from the 27, as the 44 is right on the back bumper of the 07 and going to continue to battle. He is up into the top 3 if he gets past the 07, and he's going to have an opportunity to chase down our leaders.
I don't think the 44 is going to be giving the 27 a Christmas card this year. That was a rough pass. 44 was able to get it done. We stayed green, but that was a close call. Ellingson really tried to put some heat on, making sure he couldn't get up there, but now Ellingson has fallen victim to Timothy Williams, going to try down on the inside, but so far that inside line hasn't worked. Ellingson had to give that up to Gilbert. He's going to try to fight off Williams now.
Wilms saw what he tried to do to Gilbert, and he might have to take some more drastic measures to get past that 27, because he is making that car as wide as he can, trying to keep the positions at a minimum from getting past Patrick Drabick there, as we see Gilbert already stepping out to a half second ahead, as Wilms has a great run down the backstretch. Might see him move into 3 here.
Yeah, we might see it. He's down on the bottom. You know what I was going to say, thinking about Travis Gilbert there and the fight that Ellingson put up. You know, with Gilbert being so strong, you know, I'd almost feel like, well, let Gilbert go up there and try to run down Gardner, because, you know, if you're sitting back there and you're Patrick Drabick, you've been losing time to Gardner. You need somebody to go up there and put some heaters on Gardner. And right now, Travis Gilbert is checking out on these 3 drivers that we're watching right now. So it looks like Gilbert, as we got a pass now, Williams is going to do the undercut here and try to get him down on the bottom. It hasn't worked so far, but getting desperate here. Probably feels like he's a little bit faster, but as I was saying, Gilbert has got a fast car and might be able to run Gardner down and put some pressure on Gardner, and maybe Gardner will make a mistake.
There's a textbook switchback from Timothy Wilms on the exit of turn 2, but Ellingson had the position further up in the corner. Wilms going to try again, sends it to the top in 1 and 2, keeping it just off the wall. Great run through 1 and 2, off the exit of 2, has the momentum, and you can see how much faster that Camry's going.
Yeah, but he knows he can't do it on the bottom, so he just backed out, didn't try to go down low like he did last time. So he's kind of being hampered up right there. And Patrick Drabick, with Ellingson being so close to Patrick Drabick, really that Drabick was going to be the pick, so he really didn't have anywhere to go. So he's just hoping for a break, that one of these guys make a mistake, that he can get around him. But all 3 of these drivers that you're looking at right now seem to be evenly matched. Meanwhile, looking back up front there, Gardner, that gap has not changed. So no battle up front just yet, as we're starting to see some lap cars for our leaders up front. But Timothy Williams still looking for a way around, as we are going back to our leader there, Levi McCarty, going around the 04 of Wesley Burke.
As we watch that battle continue to unfold, we saw one car take it down pit lane. Logan Thrillkill made his stop, and now our other competitor, if I can say his dang name, Patrick Drabick and Jacob Ellingson, taking it down pit road for their stop at halfway.
Yeah, Ohms. Bring it down. So they're on pit lane. 2 teammates there are going to take tires. We'll see if Patrick Drabick takes it too. I don't think so. There's still half the race left, because we got McCarty headed his Toyota on the pit lane and get service on that. Gardner is going to assume the lead. So Gardner now going around the lap car, the 04 of Wesley Burke, and will lead the next time by. And I don't think Gardner's going to want to stay out too much longer. He wasn't running down McCarty, and he knows that, so he probably doesn't want to stay out. Yeah, he's coming in this time, so I expect Gardner coming on pit lane this time by.
You can see Timothy Williams, Jason Taylor taking it down there. Matt Knight's further back, watching Taylor get into his pit box at the top corner there. Levi McCarty opting for all 4 tires to get him back out on track and possibly with the lead. Gardner with Gilbert just behind, pulling into the pit lane now.
What a great job for Travis Gilbert getting on the pit lane. He was, wasn't that, oh, we got the 60 car. 60 car having a little bit of, having a moment out there trying to get out of his pit box there, but able to hang on to the 60 car and get back out there. But Jeremy Gardner hits his pit box along with Travis Gilbert. Going to be interesting. Travis Gilbert has been so fast. See if he has a really quick stop out here. And see if he can get right on the back door of Jeremy Gardner. I think once this pit cycle is done, McCarty will still be leading this thing, but he'll have a lap older tires than a few of the drivers just behind him. And here comes McCarty right now as Gardner's exiting his pit stall.
All the way back around and trying to get past Jeremy Gardner on pit exit. He does, and he is going to have the advantage in the back half of this one, leaving McCarty set to inherit the lead as we only have a few cars that have yet to pit. Cody Anderson currently sitting in the lead. James Silver's another one of our championship contenders, staying out, maybe hoping for that caution. Tyler Evans in the 77, Charles Abert in the 7, Wesley Burke has not taken it down, and Sammy Joseph also started in the pits. But we are watching Patrick Trabick unlap himself off of Cody Anderson. Jake Ellingson should be close behind.
Yeah, and, Patrick Trabick is only racing Jeremy Gardner at this point. Maybe perhaps Silvers can get himself up there. He's going to need a lucky break. Silvers is throwing, basically rolling the dice and hoping for a caution, but I don't know. These drivers have done a good job keeping it green here tonight. So if he doesn't get a caution, it's pretty much going to be over for Silver. He's currently running in the second position. But you got to do what you got to do. If you aren't going to win it on a green flag, you got to throw some strategy at it, I guess.
Speaking of throwing, Travis Gilbert and the 27 of Jake Ellingson are right next to each other. We saw that hellacious block get thrown earlier. Might see something else tore up.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think 44 is going to be sending the 27 any Christmas cards. And I don't, based on how the 44 is driving, I think the 44 is going to be really tactful with the 27 car this time. They got Patrick Trabick right up there again, so I imagine Ellingson might try to make it more difficult for the 44 once again. And sure enough, Travis Gilbert on the inside, they're door handle to door handle. And Travis Gilbert with a smooth move out there. What a great pass there for that 44. Now he can lock in and kind of save those tires again. Needed to make that pass happen really quick because he knows how difficult Jacob Ellingson is to pass.
Made that push past the 27 and right back up into the inherent top 5 as we're seeing Levi McCarty get around the 04 Wesley Burke. But Jeremy Gardner has closed that gap that we saw from earlier, and we're under yellow.
Looks
one
like
car
maybe
around, a lot of cars further back, tore up. Logan Threlkeld, another one of our champion contenders, has a lot of damage on the front end of that car, and we are under caution for the first time in our championship race.
Yeah, it looks like Jason Taylor involved in that as well. As we're going back and taking a look at the V-Speed instant replay here, you can see Threlkeld up high, loses the rear end, and sends it there into the 24 car of Sammy Joseph. Sammy Joseph going backwards, and here's the 60 car trying to avoid that, and does it. So I thought he was involved, but was able to avoid that much like his pit road exit there. And you can see Sammy Joseph just going backwards there. He's lucky he didn't hit anything because I think that's a penalty right there if he did. But you can see him just driving that thing backwards there up against the retaining wall.
James Silvers is the luckiest man alive. He is currently sitting in the lead, and he will gladly take that 4-tire stop, keep himself on the lead lap, and he'll have the freshest tires out of everybody when we get back going.
Well, it looks like Gardner, McCarty, Trabick, they're all on pit lane as well. So it's going to be a matter. I'm wondering if, the guys behind him will be taking 2 tires, and Silvers is probably going to take 4. He's been out there 55 laps or so. He's going to take 4. It's what the drivers in front of him do that's going to be interesting here. I'm looking at Ellingson, looking at Gardner, seeing what his pit stop time is and seeing if he took 2, and it looks like he did.
I was seeing a lot of people took 4 there. Like McCarty took 4, Gilbert. A lot of people opted for that full stop. Yeah, Gardner. Yep. Gardner and Gilbert. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry for interrupting. Yeah, we're going to say the same thing. Gilbert and Gardner took 2 tires only, and that's what I was wondering how that was going to play out.
But James Silvers is going to inherit. He's going to have the freshest tires in the field. Is that showing right? Samuel Joseph was just going backwards down the front stretch, and he is currently showing in the lead. And I think that's him pulling into the pits right now. I thought that didn't look right.
Yeah, I seen that earlier too. I think he drove that thing all the way around backwards. just because that's what he wanted to do in that 24 car. So going to get that machine serviced and give up that one of those top positions. He's out there on those old tires. But here's the interesting thing there, Jacob. We've got Jeremy Gardner out there on 2 tires and the 4 car out there on 4. And I do know that the car tends to run a little bit freer. They don't have that many laps on his tires. So that might be a benefit to Gardner. It might not. I guess we're about to find out. The one thing I can tell you, though, is Drabick, he took 4 tires. He did his normal thing.
Well, the only difference between the 2 lead cars as of right now is that Gardner's left sides are only, 6 laps, 5 laps older than Silver's. We know that they're going to be moving around a lot, but is that really going to affect the outcome that much?
Well, I don't know. It just depends on how it affects his setup. And like I said, it could be with a little bit freer race car. It could help you, but that little bit of freeness could hurt you. And this is a custom setup. Everybody's racing the same setup. So we'll just have to wait and see. As we are about to go green flag racing once again, the 4 car Silver's down on the bottom is going to get in front of Jeremy Gardner there. Going to keep it down on the bottom. Gardner going to look to the outside middle lane maybe. Try to block the momentum of the 77 machine of Tyler Evans there. Gardner is going to follow right behind that 4 car. Silvers finds himself in the lead.
44 Gilbert jumping down to the inside to try and get past the 77 of Evans. Drabick still holding it in there. As we saw the 44 tag the line a little bit on the bottom. That unsettled the car. That allowed Drabick to get side by side. And there, 3 wide exiting turn 4.
I thought there was going to be an incident there. It looks like that gap really closed up on Drabick. There's still 3 wide as Drabick's trying to clear both those cars. I think Gilbert's going to be the hardest to clear. Drabick's got a little bit of momentum advantage there in the center. He's going to run it up high. Now Gilbert's going to find himself alongside. He's going to tuck it in behind the 77 as the 77 is going to try to switch back and go underneath Drabick.
Evans took that run on the inside, but look out, here we come. Patrick Drabick jumping to the middle. Jeremy Gardner to the bottom to try and challenge for the lead of Silvers as we get back onto the front stretch.
And here we go. Gardner on the 2 tire stop is going to get around Silvers on the 4 tires. Silvers got 4 tires to warm up where Gardner's only got 2. And now Drabick's back there on those 4 brand new tires trying to get around Silvers. But we got 3 championship contenders, 1, 2, 3 right now.
Meanwhile, another car challenging for this race when Travis Gilbert jumped to the inside trying to spook the 07 at Drabick, who goes side by side with Silvers for the P2, but they can't fight for too long, otherwise Gardner is going to take this opportunity and run with it.
Look at Drabick on the outside, gets a nice run there, gets clear of Silvers now. Drabick now back up to P2. Got Gilbert there on the outside, though. Gilbert is maybe the wild card out there tonight. Gilbert is putting on a show out here. Got the 44 on the outside. I think he's got the advantage over Silvers at the moment and might be able to suck on to 3rd here. We'll have to wait as they get through 3 and 4. But Gilbert looking for this race win. It'd be his first race win of the season, I believe.
Yep, has not won, but he has put himself on the podium with great runs such as he's showing tonight. Put him on the podium for the moment as we see Levi McCarty trying to get past Silvers, and I don't think that 4 is holding on very well to those new tires.
No, the 4 is going backwards right at the moment, so Levi McCarty now passing him on the outside, and Levi McCarty clears that machine as we're looking at the 44 of Travis Gilbert start to sniff the back door there of Patrick Drabick in the 07. And we'll see if Gilbert's got anything. Meanwhile, Gardner on those 2 tires has opened up about a 5-car gap over Patrick Drabick. We'll see. I have to see how this all plays out here in about another 37 laps.
6/10 back as the laps tick down. McCarty all the way to the wall. Gilbert tucking up there to try and cover off, but McCarty does have the run down the backstretch side by side with the 44 to make a move into 3.
And he clears the 44 car just like that with a power move there. 44 is going to tuck in behind. I got to wonder if Travis Gilbert is saving a little bit at the moment because we know that 44 was running our leaders down prior to that caution coming out. And as far as Silvers, that strategy that he played, and it worked for him, but right now currently running in 5th. Silvers, I mean, he made the call. It was the right choice, but just doesn't have the speed compared to some of our other championship contenders here tonight.
what Silvers wants to see is that 44 and that 51 get past Travick, settle their differences, and go chase down the 57 of Gardner. Silvers has shown that when it comes to the long haul, he has been able to hold on to the lead of whatever pack that he is running. He just wants to keep his position on track, and it's going to make it a lot easier if he can get other people to do the fighting for him. As we see Levi McCarty take the run up top. Travick covers off, but it's not going to be enough. McCarty to the inside, trying for that second spot into 3, and he is going to clear easily with a 0.7, and Gilbert might take it as well.
Yeah, McCarty led the first half of this race, so we know he's fast. He's out there. He's able to cover up. What a great job with the slide job in front of Patrick Dravick, getting up high and stealing that air away from him. I guess that's why they call him the arrow blocker out there. And now McCarty's going to set his sights on Jeremy Gardner. And I got it. You were talking about Silvers there, having some hopes. He probably hopes that Patrick Dravick can get up there and race with Gardner and maybe take each other out. But Silvers running back there in third. And another news update for one of our championship contenders, Logan Threlkeld is 1 lap down in the lucky dog position. Threlkeld's got a lot of damage on that car. As we've seen, he was involved in that incident that brought out the caution. So it looks like it might be a pretty tough night for that number 30 of Logan Threlkeld.
Yes, he was focusing on getting that damage fixed more than anything. And he is going to be coming up here shortly, it looks like, by the lap times, as Gardner may put him another lap down if we don't get another yellow here shortly.
Well, Patrick Dravick sitting back there comfortably in the third position, trying to figure out how Gardner saved tires like he did. And I'm wondering, what Dravick is thinking about. He's got the 44 machine behind him. And do you let him go, or maybe do you hold him up and try to get back up there as you see Dravick down on that low line? And I think that is the preferred line for saving tires, but it opens you up for getting past there on the outside for the drivers like the 44 car that want to do it, as the 44 is going to dive now down to the inside.
Yep, Gilbert trying to get that position away from the 0.7 of Dravick once again, nothing doing. And these guys sort out the way they came into this lap. Just all bumper to bumper. The 0.7 might make a move on McCarty, but he keeps it to the middle to try and hold off the 44 of Gilbert. And with all of this position shuffling and everything, all the excitement that we've seen, we have not had an opportunity to thank our sponsors. One of the sponsors for tonight, Patrick Dravick knows them well, the GLR Pit Crew. GLR Pit Crew program is a monthly giving initiative designed to provide consistent, meaningful support in our fight against PTSD, mental health struggles, and suicide in the veteran and first responder community. When you join, you're not just making a donation, you're becoming part of a team, the team that keeps this mission moving forward. Learn more or join today at goatlockerracing.org and click on the Pit Crew banner. You'll get a really nice t-shirt as we're still watching this battle for the third spot between Dravick and Gilbert. McCarty's starting to step it up a little bit.
Well, you couldn't put a post-it note between those two drivers there. I thought the 44 was almost going to get into that quarter panel of Patrick Dravick there. Patrick Dravick really down low, really pinching that line down, making sure that 44 can't get around. Trying to find a way to get some speed, trying to follow McCarty up front. McCarty's looks like he's slowly reeling in Gardner, but you can see Dravick just a line up there. 44 really has nowhere to go at the moment. I think the 44 is content, maybe saving some tires back there. And Dravick showing some speed right now, coming back to Levi McCarty.
Both of the cars in second and third, slowly reeling in Gardner. We saw that gap tick underneath the 6/10 mark just then. Gardner's still holding it out front with everybody behind, just trying to inch closer to him, to get in position, to try and play spoiler to the defending champion. Levi McCarty not going for a champion, and we are once again under caution with almost 25 laps to go. James Kaufman on the front stretch.
Yeah, I think that might be a single car incident. We'll have to go back to the V-Speed instant replay to see exactly what happened as he gathers that car back up. But here he is on the inside of the 77 car, Tyler Evans. And it looks like, it gets together there and able to save it, gets on the inside retaining wall. And not too much damage, but does bring out the caution as everybody splits them right there.
That looked like Jason Taylor taking another detour into the infield as we're watching This is Matt Knights in the 64. Haven't had a lot of opportunity to look at his perspective over the course of this season, but he is just flying through here. Takes a detour to the paint, and like I'm very happy that we got to witness that. He takes the pit exit road all the way around. It's like he's running the road course or something.
Well, you know what we call that in a first-person shooter game? We call that pray and spray. So he did that. He did that on the racetrack there. There he does it again. Another view of that. Goes a little bit of dirt track in there on the inside there, and able to keep that car collected. Well, here's the big question. You come in and pit. You got 27 laps to go, 25 probably when the green comes out. We're about to see what our top drivers do here. Yeah, it looks like Gardner's going to lead them on to pit lane once again. And this is going to be the race off pit road. This is where Drabic needs another one of those fantastic stops. And are we going to take 2 or 4 tires?
And the biggest thing right now, well, the biggest beneficiary from this one obviously has to be James Silvers, because he can recock and just get back into the groove where he was before. He's still going to have the track position if he opts for the strategy call, and he is going to keep it up there. He was dropping back a little bit, but he was able to equalize his drop a little bit, as we are seeing a lot of people opt for that 4-tire stop. Wesley Burke, one of those cars that did not take 4 tires, and he is all the way up to the 2nd spot, exiting Cody Anderson, Wesley Burke. Levi McCarty, fuel only?
Yeah, that's a pretty brave move there. And Jeremy Gardner took 4 tires. So some interesting strategy. It looks like Levi McCarty fuel only perhaps, and Drabic and Gilbert took 4 tires, Silvers 4 tires. So everybody took 4 tires with the exception of Cody Anderson, Wesley Burke, and Levi McCarty. And like I said, Cody Anderson and Wesley Burke, they stayed out. Oh, excuse me. No, they came in for 2 tires. I don't even know what I'm talking about tonight.
Levi had a 4-tire stop, but for whatever reason, my tracker is showing he was in his box for a Formula 1 pit stop of 3.5 seconds, which has confused me to no end.
Well, let's do this right. Let's talk about another one of our sponsors while we're under caution and we get this done. Harpoon Designs, custom iRacing cars designed for you by you. We can design cars based on existing NASCAR schemes or fantasy themes. Online image is everything in today's business world. From brand identity to effective digital marketing graphics, Harpoon Design is a one-stop shop for all your graphic design needs. We offer artistic solutions for a modern medium, including print, electronic, and web media, and that is Harpoon Design. So you guys need a new livery on your car, make sure you give them a holler and they'll hook you up.
Very big thank you to Brantley Roden for helping us put these shows on for you, as everybody is ready to get back going in this one. Cody Anderson and Wesley Burke, 2 tires, leading the field back to green, less than 25 laps to go. Pace car taking them through 3 and 4 right now. Ken, why don't you take this one?
Well, this is going to be very interesting. You got 2 cars up there that haven't been up here all night with our leaders behind them. So we'll have to see how this works out. And the green flag is out. They're in the restart zone. The 20 car is away. Anderson is going to, Gardner's going to push Anderson out to the lead. And those 2 cars get single file. Levi McCarty now down on the inside of the 04 and is going to make short work of Wesley Burke.
Not a great restart for the 04. McCarty up to the 3rd spot. Gardner down to the inside. He's going to have the position, and we got 1 car all the way to the inside. Hard impact to the inside wall goes Jake Ellingson.
Yeah, I believe Ellingson is going to tow that to pit lane. Doesn't bring out the caution. We got a battle. Gardner now finds himself up front once again. Is going to lead this time by McCarty is going to try to get by on the inside, and Drabic is just being held up with traffic in front, so it's really hurting Drabic's chances at the moment.
He got completely boxed in. He had the 44 to his inside, making it pass to the door contact. The 04, he is not happy with Wesley Burke, as Wesley Burke decides he needs to jump to the inside to make that position. The 07 dropping back even further as he is caught in a hornet's nest with another one of our championship contenders. James Silvers just behind, trying to benefit from all this, and I don't think you can benefit from having this many cars up close to you as Gardner starts to step away with the lead.
Yeah, I think I think Patrick Dravic is going to need some boric acid right now to take care of this hornet's nest. He's just watching this championship belt slip away as Gardner's pulling away here. Currently leading, and Levi McCarty with that stop is doing a great job putting some pressure now on Jeremy Gardner. So, if these two guys get together and Levi McCarty's got a chance to win this race, I guess that could be Dravic's best hope, as Dravic's still struggling back there, just trying to get back to the top 5.
You don't have to win the race to win the championship, and that is fully in Gardner's mind right now as he's being harassed by the 51 of McCarty. We've seen these two have run-ins before, watching off the nose of the 51, trying to get the toe off of the 57 on the backstretch into turn 3, holding that middle, trying to send it to the outside of Gardner. He's going to have the momentum onto the front stretch, but Gardner still keeps that lead for right now as we are under 20 laps to go in the Premier Cruisin Classic season.
Yeah, and Silvers, just speaking of Dravic once again, Silvers was able to get by Dravic. So now Silvers in that second spot in that 4 car as we watch Levi McCarty hug that outside wall, trying to get some momentum off the corner, try to see if he can run down Gardner here. And he's got Gilbert, that fast-moving number 44 there in 3rd, trying to follow Gardner down on the low line as the laps are ticking away.
And Burt dropping like a rock after starting on that front to Cody Anderson down back into 5th, on board with Travis Gilbert, who's inherited that 3rd spot. Levi McCarty, you can watch the difference in lines here. Gilbert all the way to that white line, Gardner holding a little more neutral line, a little lane up from the bottom, and McCarty is just ripping that top, using those fresh tires to his advantage to try and get the position on Gardner as he sends it to the inside this time, tips it a little bit below the white line. That's going to upset his car, and Gardner's going to have the advantage onto the back onto the front stretch, side by side, down to the stripe.
And this is where McCarty now maybe be able to cool down those tires down on the inside. If he can just hang it there, he's pushed Gardner out to the outside, which is going to use up tires a little bit more. But like you said there, Jacob, Gardner knows that he only has to finish against 4 other people. So he's not really racing McCarty for the championship. But now you find Gardner going back to the inside, going to switch it up and maybe attempt back for the lead, right? So he only had to do 1 corner there on the outside, and going to give that top lane back to McCarty.
It may not have bearing for the championship between who finishes first here, but Gardner wants that 8th win on the season. That's a mark that I don't think he's hit in any competition he's run in. So Gardner still holding it to the bottom, keeping it underneath McCarty. McCarty and Gilbert going to have a little bit of an advantage up top as we're seeing Timothy Wilms start to creep into the picture here with these 3 battling as hard as they have.
Yeah, well, you can see that 44. I really like that 44 tonight. He is looking super fast. Right now, just watching these 2 guys battle, I think put some pressure on both of them. Maybe they'll wear up their stuff, and the 44 can sneak out a win here. Gardner now, it looks like Levi McCarty's going to drop down in front of Gardner, has got that position made, and we'll see what Gardner does with this. And watch that 44. He's probably going to dive down to the inside. Got a momentum run there, and there he goes down on the inside of Gardner. We'll see if he can slide up in front of him, but we know how strong that outside lane can be.
These 3 fighting for the lead has pulled us away from a position battle for the championship. Patrick Dravic and James Silvers, the past 2 laps, have traded paint with each other, and Silvers might have taken a little bit off of Dravic's quarter to put himself in front. And Dravic is he's turned the 20 of Anderson, drops back. He is trying to keep that car straight, keep it out of the wall. He goes around, and I think we are under yellow once again. Oh, contact with the 07, and this does change the complexion of the championship as it stands, as I think the 07 might be at fault for that.
Yeah, that could race control could issue a black flag penalty to that 07. We'll have to wait and see what they decide here, but yeah, it does look like the 77 or the 07 getting a little desperate there, trying to find a way around Cody Anderson, who had those older tires. Only took 2 tires that last stop. Just goes down to the bottom there, and yeah, it looks like they're both trying to occupy the same spot there, just kind of not on the bottom. Both of them wanted kind of that 1 lane up position there as Cody Anderson, we're sitting on board with him as he tries to recover that car, but ends up on the outside wall.
Watching the 20 fight to save that car, I have been in that position. in a championship race, and that is not a good feeling to have, especially if you're just going to try and keep it going. He had that position at the start, and that has got him all the way further back toward the back of the field, and we are down. We're coming down to crunch time, Ken.
Yeah, and I'm really curious. I think this is their last set of tires. If they do come down pit lane, we'll have to wait and see what these guys do here. And it looks like everybody is going by pit lane, at least our leaders, Levi McCarty. So, yeah, it looks like everybody's staying out. I wasn't sure if they've used up all four tire sets, but I think they still might have one set left, but it's not going to matter. They don't want to give up the track position.
I'm getting word that it looks like that is all she wrote for at least the top 8 right now. Corinne Smith going to be the first car. They're marked right now in P9, but they're on pit road taking those tires, as everybody that's on the pit lane right now is going to have fresh tires. That's half the field, Kev. So we're going to have some shootout to sort out for these last 10 or so laps.
Yeah, we'll have about 11 laps to go when they take the green flag. It could be very interesting for our drivers up there, and they've made their bet at this point, so we'll have to wait and see. Gardner, I mean, if you look back there, you're looking at, you can see Gardner running in third, and Drabick just a couple positions behind him. So Drabick running in that 6th position, and Silver's in 7th. So, I mean, that brought these cars closer together. The question is, at least for these drivers, can Drabick has gotten the black flag. Drabick is going to the back. So Drabick got penalized by race control for that incident with the 20 car, and is going to restart this race at the back on older tires. So that is a tough break for that 07.
That has changed the complexion of this very much. But you know who that has potentially brought in as a spoiler with as many caution flags as we have had? Logan Threlkeld is back on the lead lap, had a little more opportunity to fix the damage on his car, and he's got the freshest tires out of everybody in the championship. Do you think we still have 10 laps to go, 11 at the line once we go green, and 2 green-white checkers? Do you think he's got it in him?
I don't know. He's going to need that lucky rabbit's foot in his pocket. So hopefully that's all he's got in his pocket. But that's what he's going to need out here. He's going to need to do that trick to get this done, I think. But anything is possible, and especially with so many drivers on fresh tires behind these leaders. It's going to be really interesting how this shapes up, as we are a half a lap away from the green flag here with 11 laps to go. Take it away there, Jacob.
2 new cars at the front of this field. I don't think we've seen Travis Gilbert up front. Levi McCarty opting to take that outside line. The 44 of Gilbert inside. We'll see who gets the better run as the pace car takes it down into pit lane. And when we hit the stripe, we will have 11 laps to go in the season. Green flag is back out at Miami. Great start for McCarty. Jeremy Gardner pushing that 44 all the way down the stretch into 1.
Yeah, Timothy Williams there on the outside of Gardner right now. So Gardner couldn't quite clear Timothy Williams. He's stuck down there on the bottom. But that 44 car, man, I really like the way he's running tonight. Watch out for this with 1 lap to go where he's at. But Timothy Williams out there able to clear Jeremy Gardner now as well. And look at that. Silver's now on the outside, just outside of Wesley Burke, just behind Gardner. So there's 2 championship contenders right now. So Silvers can taste a little bit of it right now, but can he get there is the big question.
Everybody knows it's go time. You see a little bit of a pinch from the 04 Wesley Burke, keeping that 4 up top, but he is ripping the top, and he is going to have a lot of momentum onto the backstretch. Wilms still running up top. Jeremy Gardner opting for that low line as we are under 10 to go. We're going to have 9 at the stripe, but the Silvers machine is trying to catch back up for that championship fight as they are 1 position away from each other. Jeremy Gardner still has it right now, but Silvers is hot and closing.
And Smith back there ripping that outside lane right now. And Smith was the fastest in practice running that outside. But she's going to be blocked in behind that 4 car of James Silvers. Silvers couldn't quite get the advantage there over Wesley Burke. So Wesley Burke able to hang on to that position, going to move back in front of Silvers. So close call there. Silvers now going to find himself down on the inside.
Silver's going to have the position into 3. Wesley Burke pushed up the track. Corinne Smith opting to keep that high line. And don't look now. Those are the freshest tires in the field coming up. Logan Threlkeld making a mad dash for this position. You see him just behind with the 20, and the 77, Corinne Smith, hits the wall again as Silvers has the advantage to try and get to the bottom, but Wesley Burke is going to keep it up top as they are side by side just in front. A little under 10 laps to go here, and it is getting dicey in the mid-pack.
Thrillkill now alongside Cofield and Cody Anderson, excuse me. And like you said, Thrillkill running his way up front. He can see Silvers up there. He's got a few cars just ahead of him. Going to have to do something with that 10 car, who's also very strong out there. But you can see Thrillkill back there. He's got Anderson cleared. And now can he get around that 10 car and get around the 4 car? That 4 car has been extremely difficult to get by here tonight. We'll see. Thrillkill, as we ride on board here, got a lot of speed, even with that 4 car on the outside. It's going to be a matter if he can carry it into 3 and 4 and clear that 4 car and set his sights on Silvers.
He has made up 9 spots since the green flag dropped. We're going to have 6 to go at the stripe. Thrillkill with the freshest tires of all the championship runners, but everybody is still trying to get back to the start-finish line, trying to get that advantage. James Silvers just behind. Jeremy Gardner still side by side with the 50, with the 86 of Timothy Williams, and it is go time for everybody trying to get to the end of this one.
Well, like you said, the cream always rises to the top, and you're watching at least 3 of our championship contenders get up front there and try to duke it out with each other. But they got a couple cars there, Wesley Burke and Silvers, that Thrillkill is going to get by. But what a great job that Jeremy Gardner's. He's seeing those guys back there, and he knows he just needs to maintain that gap. He's got Timothy Williams behind him. Maybe he can use Timothy as a pick, but we're looking for a battle right now from perhaps the lead. The 44 took a peek on the inside of the 51 of Levi McCarty. Nothing doing, fell back in line, but there's Gardner. Gardner out just ahead. He's got Timothy Williams not running for the championship, but Silvers and Thrillkill behind Williams there. All 3 of those guys are trying to get this championship belt.
Gardner holding it solidly in the podium positions, but all 3 of our championship drivers in the close proximity to each other within a second. Thrillkill was the fastest car on track last lap through. He needs to get past Silvers. He's got 4 laps to do it to try and get up to Jeremy Gardner in that 57 car as he burned his tires on this short run that he has had. He needs to put every ounce that he can into this one. He's still got the tire advantage, but Gardner has the experience, and we might see it come to a shootout with 3 to go next time by.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of time to get this done. He's going to need an incredible amount of speed. I think what he's going to need is a green-white checker, and that's going to be his best hope, because he is going to have the freshest tires in that situation, because Gardner's got a little bit of a gap over his. Gardner's actually starting to run back down the 44. You can see the 44 starting to fall back into the clutches of Jeremy Gardner, currently running in that 3rd position and currently in the position to win that title here tonight once again.
Gardner still holding on to that 3rd spot, trying to chase down your podium placers. Levi McCarty holding on to the lead. 2 to go at the line. Next time by, the last flag ends it. Jeremy Gardner still holding on to that 3rd spot with Levi McCarty just in front. Travis Gilbert in the 44 going to the top side to try and chase down the 51, but I don't think he's going to have enough in it.
No, I don't think so. Levi McCarty led the first half of this race, and now he's going to lead the last quarter of it. He's going to try to do this one more lap and a half, try to hold off Travis Gilbert and maybe get a win here to finish his season. Gardner currently running back there in 3rd, but the glove station white flag is out. There you see it. One more time for the championship and a race win.
Last time around, Levi McCarty holding on to that front spot. The 44, Travis Gilbert, try to move into 1. Doesn't have the momentum as we see the 30 make a massive move around the 4 of James Silvers all the way up to the top, trying to chase down as a last gasp. Logan Thrillkill trying to get to the back of Jeremy Gardner. Wrapping the top. He is scraping against the wall. He is going to go on the outside. Oh my God, are the rules going to take it away from this one? Gardner into the side of him. Across the line. Logan Thrillkill to the line first. Oh my God.
What did I just see? I can't believe I see it. Oh, that was the craziest race I've ever seen in my life.
He put every ounce that he could into that one, finishes ahead of Gardner, and we have to go to race control for the result of this one. What a massive run as we see the white flag lap here on board with Logan Thrillkill just bombing it, into 1 and 2. All the wall is just scraping by. He gets past Silvers here and down the backstretch. Gets the toe off of Wilms in the 86, and it is just, we watched it happen, but I want to see it from his perspective.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're watching it on board right now with Logan Threlkeld. Just does that wall ride around the outside. Those two get together. Gardner, I don't think expected that coming and was trying to defend that position, saying, no way you're going to get away with that. And we've seen that move done in real life. I can't believe I witnessed it here tonight at Miami, that actually worked. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, it is currently under review, and we'll have to wait to see how that championship is. But holy smokes.
We just had a have you ever, no I've never moment in Goat Locker Racing. That was his last opportunity to try and get something done. And Logan Threlkeld pulled out all the stops to try and do it.
My mind is totally blown at the moment. That's got to be the best finish I've ever seen. I've ever got a call. And I think we witnessed history here tonight at Goat Locker Racing. I've never seen this done before. Gardner, you can see him down there on the bottom. He just doesn't even see it coming. And then he's like, wait, what's going on here? And no way are you going to win this race. And sure enough, Threlkeld gets by him first. I shouldn't say win the race, but could potentially win the championship with that move.
Now, I will say in NASCAR, when the Hail Melon happened at Martinsville to put Ross Chastain into the next round of the playoffs, they did put rules in place to prevent that sort of thing happening, but we have completely overshadowed the fact that Levi McCarty has won another race this season, and he has won the season finale at Homestead. Wow.
Yeah, all the juice was taken away from that win right there, though. So, wow, that is just well played. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
Well, while we were waiting, there is not, being told by Eddie here, there is not a specific rule for wall riding, especially listed in Goat Locker, and it comes down to just like the agreement set in place for everybody on track. Like, you have to try and race as clean as you can. Just race with a little bit of integrity and just put it all on the line when it comes to it. And I think Logan Threlkeld did just that.
Well, if you we got some news from Race Control, and I don't want to spill the beans yet. Yeah. So while we hear back from Race Control, we're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to come back with results, and we're going to crown a champion.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
We are back at Homestead Miami Speedway with the finale of the Cruisin Classics Premier Next Gen Series. And we have some race results. The championship has still continued under review, but we will go down with your unofficial race results. Levi McCarty taking another win on the season at Homestead. Travis Gilbert puts it on the podium again. Logan Threlkeld provisionally in third, and therefore in the lead of the championship at the time the checker dropped. Jeremy Gardner started on pole, finished fourth provisionally. Timothy Williams with another great run. We saw him up toward the front all night. Great top five by him. James Silvers with the strategy call that benefited from the cautions, put him in P6. Corinne Smith with those fresh tires at the end got all the way back up to P7. Wesley Burke, after getting some contact on pacing, in P8. Jason Taylor in ninth after a couple of spins that he had. And Cody Anderson with the late call to not take tires rounds out your top 10.
Starting in P11, started from the 16th position, ended up P11. That's James Kaufman. P12 will be Tyler Evans. We watched him battle with a couple of guys there tonight. Patrick Dravick with a tough night there at the end of this thing, ended up with a black flag, sent to the rear of the field, was able to get back to 13th, but kind of killed his championship night tonight. Charles Abert will finish 14th. Matt Knights will finish in the P15 position. Chuck Pigleg Phelps will finish 16th. Jacob Ellingson with another tough night will finish P17, and Samuel Yosef, Mr. Backwards driver tonight, will finish P18.
All right, well, while we wait for the results of the championship, which unfortunately does involve one of our podium finishers, we will pull in our race winner, Levi McCarty. This is Jake Lanky in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, after a little bit of controversy toward the back end of this season, you cap off a great run in the Cruisin Classics Premier Next Gen Series with a win at the end. We saw you up at the front all night. Take us through that race for you.
Yeah, I kind of approached tonight like I was in the Final Four, and obviously it's a little bit easier to race when you don't have the pressure of, trying to pull it off. But I felt like I was really upset about not making it just because, you see the result tonight. I felt like I was capable of doing that, regardless if I was in it or not. So it definitely feels good to bring that one home. But I was just watching the ending to that, and I want to talk about that because that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Did they make a ruling on it yet?
No,
we are
and-
still under review. We're waiting for our rules official, Jamie Barkas, to chime in on this one. He is going to have to do a review on this one before we can reveal anything on air. But what a run with the fresh tires. Logan Threlkeld from all the way back, and he restarted 15th on that restart and got all the way back up to the front with that last gasp move. I tell you, that had to be something to behold.
I mean, my 2 cents on it is like, if it was a track where you couldn't run the fence, I would say that it shouldn't be allowed. But I mean, it's Homestead. You can put it right on the fence. It was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. I've watched it like 6 times, and I still don't know how he did it. There's no way that they can take the championship from him. That's my 2 cents on it. Like, that was incredible.
He literally put it on the fence.
Yeah, and I'm jealous. Like, I love running the high side. I've never done anything that impressive. That was so cool.
Ripped it like a bald eagle, Cletus McFarland style. Who do you have to thank for putting you on the top step of the podium for the final time this season?
Hey, since this is before you do that, this is
yeah.
Ken Huber, by the way. We got some time. We're waiting for the ruling on the championship, but I want to ask you about your overall season and tonight's race in particular. You seem to have the dominant car, and I was curious how the tires in that setup, because you guys didn't use the iRacing setup, you used a custom setup. How that setup worked for you here tonight?
It was a little tight in 1 and 2, but once you figured out how to transfer the weight correctly, you could drive it pretty decently. It kind of the same formula that these tracks have worked for me, where sometimes I'll run the top in 1 and 2, and then the bottom in 3 and 4, and it kind of saves tires a little bit more than what I'm used to. But yeah, just picking and choosing when you go up to the top, and then you can't give up a ton of time, so you got to fend it off as you move through the race.
Yeah, well, we watched Gardner at the start of the race. You were out front and doing a pretty good job of leading the race, and then he was able to move himself up to second, and it looked like he was going to be able to run you down. But then as soon as he got by up to that second spot, you were able to step out a little bit, or at least keep the gap even. So did you see that coming and just was able to keep pace with him?
Yeah, I think off the initial start there, I got to the inside. I think it was even going into turn one. I got a pretty nice restart there, and I I don't know. I just it's tough when you're in that position. Um, kind of the favorite to win the championship, and next thing you know, you're like mixing it up with guys that aren't like. It's tough to kind of draw the line at. Okay, I gotta just let him go here. I can't fight him too hard because I wasn't gonna give him. I wasn't gonna wreck him or anything, but I felt like he didn't earn, me giving him a ton of room and just laying over for him, and even in the championship race. So
Yeah.
he
Well,
ran a good season. I feel like it was fun battling with him all year, and I'm looking forward to doing it again next year.
well, we had a blast. I know Jacob and I and Eddie, we all enjoy watching you race out there and putting on a show. And yeah, it's too bad you weren't in the final four, but overall, you had a great season. It was fun to watch you. And I'll let you get back to Jacob and thank your sponsors who got you this win here tonight.
Yep. I'm sorry to try and get you out of here as soon as I did. We do have some more time than usual because of this because of this development. Uh, well, Levi McCarty has stepped out.
Well, I guess I'll talk to Travis Gilbert. Travis Gilbert, Ken Huber in the booth, along with Jacob Linke. He probably has some questions for you as well. But we're still waiting for a decision on who won the championship. But hey, what a great race! You found yourself in second place tonight. Man, you're so close to a win. Started from the pits. You were kind of my favorite tonight. Couldn't quite get it done. But talk about your race tonight.
Yeah, like so at the beginning, actually started fourth, but I don't know what happened. It's like, you know how you ever done a test session on iRacing where you're with somebody and you can run with them, but they'll just drive right through you? That's kind of like what it happened tonight. So it was quite the interesting start to our race, Ken. So nothing like starting P4 or supposed to start P4, but by the time you get to the end of the first lap, you're all the way at the back of the field. Just like I was just holding on for dear life, trying to go where hopefully they weren't, trying not to cause a caution and get ran over and kill some cars. What a crazy championship finale race at Homestead tonight.
That was a fantastic race. Watching you and McCarty go at it, watching you come up through the field, and then watching the potential championship be decided over, some crazy tactic out there with the wall and just, with Gardner not seeing it coming. It's got to be the most incredible finish I've ever seen and been able to call. So I'm sure for you guys in the driver's seat, you were probably looking at that in your mirror. Probably had no idea. Did you catch it there on the broadcast?
No, not on the broadcast. I don't pay attention during the race, and I'm totally focused. I saw it out the corner of my eye, looking up at the mirror, seeing where Gardner was, or if anybody was going to be catching. All of a sudden, I seen something coming off the outside wall like a missile, and then they were wrecking to the inside wall. So I really didn't know. And then because they disappeared off of my standings, so I really didn't know who won the championship. We clearly know who won the race and who finished second, but the championship I didn't know. It's interesting. I'm still waiting as a fan to see what their decision's going to be.
Yeah, we're looking at the back of your car right now as we're interviewing you, and you can see Logan up there up against the wall. Jeremy Gardner right behind you. I don't know what lap we're currently looking at, but there you go. You can see him right now. This is a white flag lap. It's right here on the broadcast, and here comes Logan Thrillkeld. We're just looking off your rear bumper here, and Thrillkeld comes up, almost catches you as well, and then the two get together right at the start finish line. I think Gardner was just totally caught off guard, but yeah, I guess that's what you've seen in your rearview mirror is those two guys going at it for a championship.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was trying to focus, but Levi was so good. Like once you with these cars, you can aero block so well. So, the when I get to him, the air from the diffuser on the back of his car would just absolutely wash the nose away. So it's just like, all he had to really do was hit his marks. I tried the outside a few times, made a little bit of ground and stuff, but that caution coming out, I kind of felt like hurt me more than it helped me. So just that's the way it is. One of these days we're gonna pull into victory lane and goat locker. I think we've got a bunch of second place and third place finishes in this league. So one of these days we're gonna take this vet to track dark horse Ford Mustang to victory lane.
Yep,
Yeah,
you have.
go ahead there, Jacob.
Sorry, this Jake Lakey, I need to apologize to you first and foremost because I did not know the situation that you found yourself in at the start. I know earlier on in the season you took it from the back to the front with a start from the pit lane. I thought that's what happened tonight, and I just want to come out and say that I thought your run was just incredible. You made it all the way back up to second. Those cautions definitely helped settle the field out and help you get into a good finish position. So you have my sincere apologies, and I need to congratulate you on a great run tonight.
All right. Well, who do you have to thank for getting you the second place finish? And we're going to get to talk to another one of our drivers here tonight.
Yeah, no worries. This is championship finale. Terry, Tweet, my mom, Branson, Lucas, my dad, Vet the Track, you guys at V Speed, Goat Locker, everybody who's a part of it, Black Diamond Motorsports, Black Diamond Designs. I'm gonna cut it short because you guys have some stuff to cover and have a championship to discuss and some winners to interview. So thank you guys for an awesome season, and I look forward to coming back and seeing you guys on the other end of this, not second place, but on the other end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good luck to you next season.
All right, we are going to talk to another one of our championship contenders. This is his second consecutive season fighting for the championship. James Silvers. This is Jake Link in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on, man?
Doing all right. We saw quite the eventful race from everybody here tonight, and you found yourself up at the front after a strategy call on that long green run prior to the caution coming out. Take us through the mindset for that.
Yeah, well, we kind of didn't have the speed towards the beginning. They were just a little bit faster. Plus, we were trying to learn as we went on the first run, and we kind of got everything figured out. And the caution kind of fell into our lap right there, and it kind of helped us out. And I just could have been there just a little bit. Maybe if I just maybe would have on that last caution, maybe could have actually pit and got tires. Maybe would have had a better chance. But I don't know what's going to happen with the final finish or not. But because if they do take it away, I guess it'd be second place. But I mean, third place wouldn't be too bad. But I mean, I just want to be able to get one of these one day. I've come close so many times. I feel like it's the third time now that I've in the past like 5 years that I've been running different seasons in Cup cars that I've walked out second place. So I just want to be able to get it next year, and I guess I'm going to have to be a little bit more dedicated next season, be able to put more work, be able to come out here and run again up front.
Well, you put in the work. We saw it all season long, winning at Daytona and Auto Club, and bringing it here with a strong run to finish it out. Who do you have to thank for putting you into the contention for the Final Four, sir?
No, I'd like to thank y'all at V Speed, and y'all did an amazing job up there, and I'd like to thank everybody with the sponsors at GLR, Lincoln Tech, and Save 22, and let's see, who else? Cruisin Classics, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, InVets, ATYL, and everybody at Cornerstone and all the sponsors over there, and Mount Silver Supply Company for being with me all season. Great sponsor, and thank all my teammates over at Cornerstone. Ran a great season and great crew chief, and we're going to put in that work and be able to come back out here and keep us running, and maybe we can win some more races, maybe get the title next year.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thank you for your time, and congrats on a great season. All right, Ken.
Well, what do you think of that, Jacob? How about that finish? We're going to go back and take a look at this thing. You know, I have my opinions on it, and it goes back. I'm an old school racer back in the Papyrus days. And a long time ago, the software, they inhibited, as we're watching Logan Threlkeld ride that wall, but they made it the wall. If you rode the wall like that, they made a slowdown because guys were doing that. And so that had been repaired. And one of the things I noticed when running this setup out here tonight, that you could get up against the wall, and that is a racing line up there. And if you run up there too long, you'll get damaged eventually, and it'll slow you down. But he did it on the last lap of the race. Now, I don't know. In my opinion, I kind of think it was an okay move.
So I've expressed my opinion with the IRL ruling in NASCAR. But in this particular instance, yeah, we're watching like it from when you see the sparks initially when he makes contact, but there's nothing else after that. So I think the netcode thinks he's just ripping it real tight up there, not even touching the wall, and he's able to conserve his speed well enough so that he's just ripping it the entire way around. And then he just comes out of nowhere on Gardner's blind side. And I think Gardner just tries to turn it right into him to keep him dragged back before they hit the line.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious if Logan actually practiced this prior to the race to see if he could wall ride like that, because I would have never thought to do that ever since they fixed that bug that iRacing used to have, that was even possible. But looking at it again, he made it work there. And like you said, some of that is net code. Basically, iRacing also has a prediction indicator. So if it thinks you're going to be up in the wall, it'll put you up in the wall, even though you don't feel it. And so when we're watching it on a broadcast or something like that, you see a lot more sparks. And then from the driver's view, in his car, you might not be seeing him hit the wall that hard at all. So that's one of the things you got to take into account, I guess, when you're trying to call whether this was a fair move or not.
He downshifted.
Yeah, I seen a lot of drivers out there tonight. They were downshifting in the corner. Some of them were, some of them weren't. But yeah, that's something that a lot of the drivers were doing here tonight, was downshifting, especially on the old tires. But yeah, it's just, I mean, there it is. I mean, it clearly looks to me like he clearly rode the wall, which, I don't know, for some people that would be maybe unsportsmanlike, but I think championships on the line, you're doing what you got to do.
Well, yeah, let's do what we can. Oh my goodness. And it's a great time for it too, because we need to pull in our final podium driver and your 2026 Cruisin Classics Premier Next Gen Series champion, Logan Santa Thrillkilled.
Oh my goodness, what's going on, guys?
Well, I think we need to ask you that just now, because, oh my God, man. You went from a lap down at the beginning, just sucking it, putting all that damage back together, and then to finish it out like that with a last gas move at the end. I need to know what you were thinking through that.
I was thinking I lose if I don't try it, and I lose if they take it away. So it didn't really matter to me either way what happened. I'm obviously very grateful for the choice that was made to let this one stand. I guarantee there's going to be a rule in the rule book tomorrow that says you can't do that. But
Well,
it's rules are meant to be broken sometimes, or be the one that makes them written.
Well, you certainly have written something, and that is going to be your name on that championship belt. Ken, do you have any thoughts for Mr. Santa?
I got lots of thoughts. So what a great win. First of all, I expect to thank you from you for rooting for you at Talladega. I picked you to win Talladega, and that put you in that Final Four, and here you are tonight. What a move. We were talking about it with Eddie and Jacob here, and this has got to be the greatest finish I've had in my broadcasting career ever. And to have it on a championship race, what a move. I mean, you basically... You just talk us through this final lap and what you were thinking going through the last lap and a half or so.
Well, like Jake had mentioned, I had all that damage there from that the first caution around the halfway point, and had about a minute and 45 seconds to get repaired. So that was just a pain in itself. The car wouldn't keep speed with the rest of the field, even down the straights. I just couldn't pick up the draft at all. So finally got everything repaired with that last pit stop. Puts 4 fresh tires on there. I think I had 10 or 14 laps of difference between myself and everybody else, but starting in like 15th. So I knew I had to do something. I had to push really hard. I could already feel the right front going. That sucker was cooked. And we came around, white flag in the air, still have silvers in front of me. Like, well, it is what it is. We're going to have to try it. It's either I lose and take home 3rd place, or I try it, get DQ'd, and I make good TV. That's all I care about. That was, I'm sure, a blast. I've already heard a couple people saying Jacob running himself out of breath, but yeah, I just stuck it up there to the wall. It kind of bounced off there for a second, then sucked right back up to that safer barrier in 1 and 2. Downshifted, tried to keep my speed up there. It was still kind of bouncing back and forth. Finally, but down the back straight. Jeremy's like 4 or 5 car lengths ahead of me, and I'm just like, all right, well, it worked the first time. Let's see if it goes 2 for 2. So tried it again, stuck it up there, downshifted. I did not think that I was going to come out even close to Jeremy's right-hand side at all. And luckily I did. Otherwise, if he gets up in front of me, I just plow into him and potentially take both of us out. So glad that didn't happen. Glad I got the opportunity to pull this one off. That was...
Well, congratulations. I got one more question. Did you have any words with Gardner after the race? Did he have anything to say to you?
The only thing he said was, "What the hell was that?" I said, "I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't know why that worked. I heard you say on the broadcast there, Ken, and you wonder if I had any practice. 0 practice doing that. That was a Hail Mary of all Hail Marys." And just
you were
pure luck.
You were the Cinderella story of the season. Getting that win at Talladega that brought you here, it all led to this. And then, you self-spun there early, and that's what makes it so amazing. You self-spun, ended up at the back of the field with all that damage, and then come back at the last lap of the race to win the championship is just absolutely incredible. I'll remember this one for a very long time.
I will too.
All right, Jacob, I'll hand it back to you.
I've been fighting the urge to call this a Christmas miracle the entire time we've had you in the booth, sir. Who do you have to thank for giving you that championship win, sir?
Of course, everybody involved with this. Cruisin Classics, first and foremost. We wouldn't have this next-gen series if it wasn't for them. iRacing, of course. We don't have a platform if we don't have iRacing. MK Fire Designs, Sim Motion, Harpoon Designs, Zach Graphics. Of course, you guys. I cannot wait. I know everybody that wins the race always says, "I can't wait to go back and watch this one." I can't wait to go back and watch this one. Championship, 3rd place, I don't care. I am so ecstatic right now and really ready to see how Jacob called this one. But lastly, just everybody involved. My parents, I know they're watching. My little cousin, my grandma, all of my family is pretty well watching this one. So glad I got to do it for you guys, my beautiful wife, and GLR, man. GLR. At the end of the day, they're everything here. So big shout out to Pat and Jamie. Jamie, I'm sorry I woke you up from your afternoon nap. I know you had to get called in to help make those calls. So appreciate all the admins behind the scenes.
Well, I made a mention of it at the beginning. You have had the opportunity to call a lot of historic moments in your time as a commentator, and you have written one of your own. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on the championship, and we will see you next season, sir.
See ya.
Oh my goodness, Kev.
Well, I got to tell you, what a way to wrap up the season there, Jacob. It has been a blast out here. This Premier Series here in the Next Gen put on a show this season. I wish I could have been out there racing with them. I ended up in the broadcast booth this season, which I was very happy to be here. So if I didn't get to race it, to be out here calling it with you, that's all the better, I guess.
Yes, sir. And I ended up stepping back from the series. I ran it into the fall, and I was very honored to have the privilege to call it up here with you throughout the entire season with Eddie in the production booth. And I am very grateful for the opportunity to call a race like this and a season like this for Goat Locker and everybody watching. And I am just overjoyed that we got to finish it out with a spectacular like this.
Yeah, we've probably been talking longer about this incident than the race here tonight. And you know, a Goat Talk Live is going to be hip. If it's not tomorrow night, it'll probably be next Thursday. I don't know if Eddie's here in production. Are we having Goat Talk Live tomorrow? So it'll be next week, it sounds like. And so that's going to be lively, and we'll get to relive this moment probably in Goat Locker eternity as we're watching that 30 car wall ride this thing to a championship belt. First time for Logan Threlkeld. What a show he put on here tonight.
Did it for the Biff and brought it home. And thank you to everybody at home for tuning in and watching all season long. For Ken Huber and Eddie Smith in the booth, Dougie Beard on cameras, I am Jacob Lanke, and we will see you next season with the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Premier Series. Thank you.
Thank you and good night.